Howdy everybody, it's Camille and Mustang Rocky. He is my newest client Mustang that I am working with. I've already posted his day one training session up on YouTube, so be sure and check that one out before you watch this one, because this is our week one recap. Unfortunately, I'm out here by myself, so I don't get the chance to film every day. Bringing my tripod and camera out is kind of a rare thing, so I'm going to try and do weekly recaps of Rocky's training and hit the highlights. Like my next video will probably be his first saddling, so watch out for that one. So for the past week with Mustang Rocky, I've been working on groundwork, and most of what I have been working on has been desensitizing, because he's a little bit more on the active, extroverted side, so he needs a little bit of calming down for me to work with him. He's not bad about moving out when I ask and stuff like that, so we don't have to work on that as much. We're still have been touching on it, working on it, but our main focus has been with desensitizing. So today when I caught him, I went ahead and put this fun contraption on him. This is, here, I'll take it off of him. Can you drop it? Drop it. Drop it. Good boy. Okay, almost. Whenever I take a bit out of a horse's mouth, I make sure not to like yank it or force it out of their mouth. I just wait for them to drop it on their own. But yeah, this is a mullen mouth bit, so it's one piece and it's made of like this rubbery plastic material that's very soft, and I don't usually ride in it, but I have it hanging on this string here that just goes over his ears, and it just hangs. Oh, there you go. So this just hangs from his ears and sits in his mouth, and it just sits there for him to get used to holding it a bit in his mouth, and him to get used to carrying it on his own like a big kid before I ever start asking a horse to respond to bit pressure. I want to make sure they're good at taking that bit, and if you've done their desensitizing, this shouldn't be a big issue. As long as they're not head shy or not spooky about what you're doing, bridling really shouldn't be a big thing. So there you go. That's the second time I've ever bridled him, and that wasn't so bad. He's just kind of trying to figure out what he's got in his mouth. So I'll leave that in. I'm not going to do anything with it. It's just going to sit there for the entirety of our training session. So let's go over some of the stuff I've been working with Rocky this past week. I started out with getting him used to this rope swinging all around him, and as you can tell, he really doesn't care about it anymore. So it's really good progress. I'll make sure to swing it everywhere, all around his legs, and I'll also do that on both sides of his body. So I've also been working on some round pinning with Mustang Rocky, just asking him for a little bit more effort each day, so I'm going to show y'all where we're at now. Very good. So that's fine. We've also been working on some liberty maneuvers in between our round pinning, and it seems he's remembered a lot of it. Very good boy.
So here's a little bit of our round pinning. I didn't want to show too much of it because it's a little bit boring. We are just working on doing some turns in slow motion I want to really break those down, make sure he turns into me. Here are some gait transitions. If I ask him to pick up the lope, I go back to my relaxed state. As soon as he picks it up and holds it, if he starts to really slow down, I'll remind him to keep going. But more or less, I'm going to reward him by not nagging him when he is loping out correctly. There is another stop. I just keep walking sideways until I cut him off. As soon as he turns into me, you can't really see because I'm off camera, but I back up and reward him, let him sit and rest a little bit before turning him out in the other direction. So really pay attention to my body language in this turn. When I want him to stop, I walk sideways to cut him off. As soon as he turns into me, I back off. Then I get him going in the other direction. Then I always like to end my round pinning sessions by doing something low energy, like having him follow me at Liberty. He's got a pretty good draw, so this is just something fun we do to keep his brain activated and help him relax around me.
So that was a really good look at what some of our round penning looks like. I like to throw in some Liberty maneuvers at the walk just because it's a really good kind of brain break for these young horses. That way they're not always seeing you as someone who's trying to get them to move, trying to get them to do things. Sometimes they just get rewarded for being around you. So we do a little bit of that every day, and he's gotten really good at it. Now we're going to move on to a little more of the desensitizing we do. So I've been desensitizing him to me as a person. I showed you that in video 1, and now we're going to do a little bit of a recap on it. The very first few times I did this, he was really spooky. Kind of thought I was going to get him, just because no one's really acted a fool around him before. So this is a really good thing to do with young horses to make sure that they're not going to spook if you do something random like this. He's gotten really good at it. We've also been working on his manners when picking up his feet, because that's one of the things he needs work on. So here we go. Go in. Go in. These exercises right here really help. Go away, Milo. They really help get a horse ready for a farrier. So I'm stretching it forward like I'm going to put it up on a pedestal. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, you want love. So the back feet still need a little bit of work. He's not completely sure about this. Whoa! Good boy. That's another thing we've been working on. Good boy. It's a form of desensitizing in preparation for having a rider. Ooh. Good boy. I might need a mounting block for this one. Ooh. So this is called the Jeffries method. It's the safest and easiest way I found so far to introduce a rider to a horse. It also helps them mellow out a lot. It's a good trust exercise. Hold still. Thank you. But don't eat my jeans. Thank you. Hey, buddy. Thank you. That's enough of that for today. The other things I've been working on have been desensitizing him to a flag. Unfortunately, the flag I usually use is broken right now, so I'm going to show you some of the exercises I usually do with the flag, but I'm going to use the whip. It's not as scary, but it does make noise, so we'll see how he handles this. So he thinks I want him to move. That's okay. I'm just going to keep doing this until, oh, I didn't mean to get you. I'm just going to keep doing this until he settles. Good boy. Good boy. So someone was asking about this recently, like why do you desensitize a horse to whips? Why do you desensitize them to a flag? Like, aren't you supposed to use those things to make them move? And ideally you want a horse to be able to do both. You want to be able to put energy behind this, but like your body language, tell him not to go anywhere. So this is moving, it might be scary to him, but he's supposed to stand still, because I'm not asking him to do anything. I'm asking him to stand still. So this way, you know he's not really scared of it, he's not in any kind of discomfort, he's okay with it. You know, if you don't desensitize your horse to a whip or a flag, you always use it to get them moving. They're likely only moving because they're afraid of it and they're reacting to that stimulus. They're not actually reacting to you and your body language. Right now the stimulus is still happening, but he's not reacting to it. Why? Because he's doing what I ask him of. I'm calm, I'm stationary, he should be calm and stationary. So he's being a very good boy. side of his body, so he's going to have to learn to accept it on this side too. That's very good. So I'm getting control of these hindquarters now. Super duper important. Anything you want to do with your horse pretty much requires you to be in control of what their hindquarters are doing. Side. Good boy. And remember what we said about we want him to react to our body language, not the tool. Right now my body language says stay still, you did a good job. Even though that stick is touching his hindquarters, it's not telling him to go anywhere. Now when I lean into him and apply pressure, that's when I'm asking him to go somewhere. And I rub him again, stand up straight, relax. That's when you shouldn't move anywhere. Same thing when we work on Lunging, I've just started lunging with him yesterday. What I'm going to be doing, asking him with the whip, it's going to be very similar to this desensitizing movement, except I'm going to put body language and energy behind it to let him know that I expect him to move out. So here's what it'll look like. I did have to remind him. It's probably because he just worked on desensitizing. He needed a little reminder. He thought, wait, I'm supposed to stay still now. And I said, no, you're not. Good boy. See how that hindquarter control came into play? If I need him to stop, I'm going to ask him to move those hindquarters out and face up to me. That's why it's really important to get control of your horse's hindquarters. Because if you don't have control of their hindquarters and they don't want to stop, you're not going to get them to stop. They're just going to take you for a ride. Here we go again. Good. That was much nicer. I put body language and a verbal cue behind it. To let him know I wanted him to go. I didn't want him to stand still. Here we go again. There you go. Very nice. I worked really hard on these hindquarter yields yesterday. She's gotten really good at them. Good boy. Very nice. This is very good. I'm really happy with what he retained from yesterday. So I'm not going to work too hard on it. Good boy. I just want to show you again. Hang on. He thought for a second he was supposed to go. I reminded him a little bit with my body language. Hey, I want you to stand still. That stimulus is still happening, but guess what? I'm not putting any body language behind it, so he knows he's supposed to stand still. That's how you get your horse to respond to you and your body language, rather than the stimulus, which is this whip here. So he jumped a little bit, but he knows he's supposed to stand still. Do it again on the other side. It's all about balance. If he's getting too jumpy, too spooky, I'm going to work more on desensitizing him to this stimulus. If he's getting too lazy, too sticky, not wanting to move, I'm going to work more on getting him to move out to the stimulus. And he's kind of the type of horse that wants to move more than he wants to stand still. So I'll probably spend more time working on desensitizing to that stimulus. Good. You need a little reminder again, that's okay. After a week or so of making the difference clear between sensitize and desensitize, he's going to be a rock star at this. So I think the last thing I'll probably show y'all today, desensitizing to this tarp. He was really, really good about this because I spent a while desensitizing him to that flag, which I don't have right now. But I find that once you do a really, really good job of desensitizing your horse to one object, like this rope movement, me going over like this, wait until he relaxes before I reward him, they'll find that this whole motion with the rope is not much different than this whole motion with the tarp. And, you know, it is a whole lot more stimulus, it's a lot scarier, but he's going to be much better off doing this since I prepared him by doing this with the rope and doing this with the flag. Like, he doesn't even give one single care about this start at all. And I'm going to show y'all how this works with something new. This is something he's never seen before. So the rope, he's been desensitized to, the flag he's been desensitized to, and the tarp he's been desensitized to, but he's never had this thrown on him before. I'm going to show you just how easy it is to go ahead and do that when I've gotten my basics out of the way first. He flinched a little bit because he was like, hey, what was that? But, I mean, look at him. He doesn't care, and it's because I spent so much time working on the basics. Once you, like, desensitize your horse to something really, really simple and get that foundation really good, anything else you throw at them, they're going to be able to handle. So I think we're going to do our first saddling video, maybe film that tomorrow. But, I mean, I think he's got a little bit of buck in him because he's a pretty active guy, but he's not going to care one bit if I go walk up and throw a saddle on him. So I think we're going to be able to film that tomorrow and get a pretty cool video for you guys. Good boy. I'm going to do it a little bit on the other side just for training's sake, and that's probably where we're going to end our session. So he's still a little bit flinchy, that's okay. Good boy. Very good boy. Like I said, I've never thrown that saddle pad on him before, and he just handled it so well. And it's because I really took the time to instill the basics in his brain. So that's what I'm doing with this whole sensitizing, desensitizing concept. That's the very first thing I work on with any horse, especially Mustangs. He's a really good boy, so make sure you like this video and subscribe so you can keep watching videos of Rocky's training. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about anything I was doing with Mustang Rocky, please leave them in the comments below. Yes. Thanks for watching.